if in this industry, if you're only coming to the table with just a one-step strategy, and that one-step strategy, exit strategy is the wholesale, then you're going to be limited to what
Right.
you can do in this industry. That's why I
Yes,
say
yes.
life is a product of the way you think it. If you change your thinking, you can change your mind. Education, they've been telling us our whole life, right? Like education is power, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more you know, the more money you can make,
Yeah.
the more successful you can become. What's going on,
Hey, Miss
Elise? How you
Elise.
doing?
Okay, y'all, your vacation trip, I was like, I want to go on vacation with them.
Yeah, we
We are a good time.
long
I
overdue
mean,
though.
I
That
was
thing was
like,
long
look at this
overdue.
beach. Look at them just having fun. I need a vacation. Okay, so starting off, you guys have been on our webinars and everything. I know people know you, but could you just talk about like your market and how you guys got into real estate investing?
Yep. You want to kick it off?
Sure. So we are, you want us to introduce ourselves too?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm Rob Van Harris, and this is my beautiful wife.
Catherine Harris.
And tell the folks a little bit about us, honey.
And so just to tell you a little bit of background about us, we are real estate investors. Also, we are agents as well. And we are right now in the Atlanta market. Basically, we work the Atlanta market.
Yeah, the Atlanta market. We also cover Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, PA. Not just Atlanta, but all the surrounding areas of Atlanta. So, we pretty much cover the entire Georgia. So, we also buy, fix, and flip homes.
Yep.
We do a lot of creative financing. We do a lot wholesaling, of course, right? We do it all. We do it all. We have a smart portfolio, so we do it all. So we're looking definitely. You have people here that you want to link up with us, man. We always open to build. We're building relationships and linking up with others, and just really building up, those relationships here in Atlanta as well as Pennsylvania and all the surrounding areas.
Yeah, I'll definitely be linking your guys' YouTube channel and your IG handles in the description. So everyone feel free to reach out to them. And I would love for you guys to tell your story, because the webinar was where I first heard your story of how you got into like real estate investing, how you guys moved to Atlanta and everything. Would you mind touching on that a little?
Yeah, so we came to Atlanta in 2014. Us, our children, and my mom at the time, and you know, we basically had a plan to move into a house, but when we got there, the house was just. When we first went to visit the house had this dog smell to it. I didn't go into the depths of what happened, but it had this dog smell to it. And then the agent at the time had promised to have the house cleaned. But when we got back to Atlanta to move here, officially move here, it was still in the same condition.
And the air conditioning unit went
Air
out.
conditioning
That was the
unit
straw
went
that
out.
broke the camel's back. The
Yeah.
air conditioning, and it was the very beginning of summer. It was
It was so hot.
It was super hot.
OMG, it was so hot. So we were like, he was like, look, when can you guys have this fixed? And it just started off real rough. So we just was like, you know what? Give us back our money. We're leaving.
Right.
And we left, and we ended up in a hotel. Because mind you, we're in a foreign land. We don't know, we don't have no family, no friends. So that became a journey. We was literally looking for somewhere to stay from a hotel. That's how we ended up living in a hotel with our boys. So it wasn't like we just moved to Atlanta, right, with our four boys and just decided to go to a hotel. No, that wasn't the plan. We had a house and we had provisions, but at the end of the day, what we planned just didn't plan out as planned. So we ended up staying in a hotel. Eventually we ended up finding a place, and it was so crazy how we found the place. We was out, me and Catherine was getting up every morning. We was running out of things to do in that little small hotel room. We having Nerf wars, right? It's only but so many Nerf wars and so many games you can come up with the kids. I'm making it fun. I'm like, come on, let's have a Nerf. Come on, guys, let's have a Nerf war. Come on. We having Nerf wars. I'm hiding behind the bed. We got 2 beds. At least we in there, literally 2 beds in a hotel room with all the kids. And then, it was just like, we getting up like, all right, kids, don't give grandma too much of a hard time, go to the pool, things like that, to keep them busy. every morning we just getting out there and looking. It so happened we just happened to be in a subdivision one day, and this guy came by and said, "Hey, you a real estate agent?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a real estate agent." He said, "Hey, man, I have a house right around the corner I'm looking to rent." I said, "Yeah."
Right. And he just drove up to
And he
us
just
while we were looking
drove.
at another house, and he just drove right up to us.
Yep. And he was like, "Hey, man, come see it. Come see it." I looked in and I walked in. I was like, "Dude, this is it." I turned around to the guy. I said, "Dude, listen, you don't even have to put this out there." I was like, "I have somebody for it." He was like, "Who?" I was like, "Us." He was like, "You?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I have the money and everything. Like, I can give you the money." He's like, "Paul," he's like, "Well, you know, you have the application." I was like, "I have the application. The other agent already ran, have everything. Like, can I just forward you over that information?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." Forwarded him over the information. Called him the next day. He told us to come pick up the keys.
Oh my gosh.
We were meant to stay.
Yes,
for sure.
the doors opened up right in time because we was literally getting ready to like turn back around. It got to the point where we was like, "Oh my gosh, it was getting expensive." We didn't have much money. We came with just a couple $1,000.
Well, yeah, $2,600 to be exact.
$2,600. You remember the number?
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so crazy. So then how did you launch into this real estate investing? Like, how did you get going? So, I mean, you guys did, what was it? 30, 40 deals with us last year or something like that?
Yeah, we did 49 deals total. 30 of those deals was through Driving for Dollars through the app, DealMachine app. So yeah, we killed it.
So Rob has always been in real estate. Like, we've always had a real estate background. When we were in Philadelphia, we were doing contracting. We had a contracting company that we were the overseers for, and so we were already kind of sort of in real estate.
And the plan was to open back up the contracting company
when we came down, right? So, but we just decided to. Rob decided to get his license because we were in Philadelphia, and he was tired of the agents basically getting commission from the properties that he was selling. You know what I mean? So he was like, I'm just going to go get my real estate license. And he went and got his real estate license. And we had property there. And then when we came to Atlanta, we decided we didn't want to do the contracting thing. We was like, let's just go. He got his reciprocal license, and we went right into real estate and investors. He started working with a lot of investors, really. From the door when we got here. So he was working with a lot of investors. So eventually it turned into him and I just kind of like seeing what they were doing and trying to figure out, how are they doing this? Like, I'm making this much, $2,500 as the agent, and I'm selling this property basically to my client. You're selling this property to my client, and you're making more than me.
Right.
So he automatically.
I think she's more so, and that's good that you shared that background too. But I think you more so was asking, how did we stay above the water financially, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said you came with that much, but like, how did you turn that into just like growing it? Because I feel like that's where people get stuck, right? It's like, how much money do I need? One, plus like, how do I get to that? Like, how, I think I know your answers, but I'd love to hear how you guys like kind of launched this in a new place. You knew no one, you didn't have family, like, and kind of going with what Catherine said. I'm glad she talked about your connections, like getting into networking and like how you got to know the market.
That's how we got to know the market. Right. And we're going to be completely transparent with like how we basically was able to generate income and maintain until we got our first deal off the line.
Well, we got resourceful. You have to be resourceful. You have to turn over every rock. Like, you can't be afraid of a challenge. And I think that's just what it was. We weren't afraid of a challenge. So what we did was, I was like, one day, I was like, Rob, you know what? We're low on money. So I'm gonna sell this table set. I'm gonna sell this table set, right? And I went on Craigslist and I went to go, and he was like, oh, what is she talking about? Like, he's like, he's not worrying, but he's like, as the man, he's trying to like figure things out. I'm like, he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what is sell a table? I was gonna sell a table set. So I sold the table set. I put it on Craigslist and sold the table set that we had gotten for free when we got here. Someone gave it to us for free.
Yeah.
Oh, so, hey.
Off of Craigslist. Yeah. And I sold the table. Yeah. And that's what's got us into, basically, we were had a full like blown furniture business.
Furniture business. We was selling furniture. We started selling
We
furniture.
got it
So
for
we
free.
started going on
Right.
Craigslist. I was like, hold on. So you know me again, right? I'm a visionary, right? So I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute. We just now made this off of this table that we got for free. I'm like, what else they got on there
The
for
light
free?
bulb just was like,
Right? So the light bulb went off. They had couches and
Yeah.
sofas. So we actually started selling furniture. You know, we was making, you know, $400, $700, $600 here for stuff we was getting for free. And that's how we stayed above the water
all
until
profit.
I was able to get my,
That's right.
you know, my business off the ground.
And I was
I
like,
had my baby carrying couches
that's
with
right.
me.
We were busting out couches. I was
Hey.
carrying couches, anything. I
Hey.
was strong at that time. I was like
Hey.
seriously strong.
When you
Like,
find, listen, when you find the one that's willing to carry a couch with you
Hey,
down 6 flights of steps,
Oh, good Lord.
that's the one you better put the ring on.
that's right. It's all about.
That's the one you better put the ring on.
It's all about
You hear
vision.
me?
You have to keep the
My
vision
baby
no
was
matter
right.
what. You have to keep the vision. You can't change the vision because of your circumstances. You have to just do what you have to do until you get to where you have to get to. So he was doing his studying and he was going to his new office in real estate and things like that, all while we were doing this furniture business. I was like, no, you're not going to get a 9 to 5. You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to keep doing this. And even if I had to work, and I started working at the VA Medical Center as well as us doing that business, so we could just stay above water until this ultimately came to pass.
I was ready to go back to 9 to 5, and she was like, no, keep running your race.
Yes.
Keep running your race. A 9 to 5, it ain't who you are, because mind you, we came from a business to where I had employees and everything. We had a contracted business. Like, okay, and we was making over $250,000 a year. We had okay employees and everything, and to come from that to be, you know, carrying couches with my wife was kind of a little belittling for me, to a point where my mindset started to be like, okay, what is going on? Like, this wasn't the plan. And I was like, babe, I'm gonna have to go back to work. And she was like, no. She was like, I go to work. You keep running your race. You stay up there in that room and keep making those calls. And I remember, I never forget it. We had an upstairs portion to where it was like a loft, and I would literally get on the phone and make cold calls. I had no money for no other type of advertising at the time.
Right.
And I would make cold calls. You know, at the time, you know, you buy expires. I was a listener, so I'm doing buying expires and Fizzbos through the system and through Mojo at the time.
Grinding it out.
And just grinding it out.
Oh my gosh. I just love, I really appreciate how real y'all are about like just the struggle of getting to that point. And Catherine, like huge, showing how like a partnership, like it's give and take, and it's balancing each other out, of like, you knew you wanted him. I mean, you're his cheerleader and vice versa. Like, I love that so much. Going into, cause I could go on and on about your guys' story. But what, oh my gosh, I just lost my thing. Resourcefulness. Okay. The couch, selling the furniture. When did you guys feel like you didn't have to do that anymore? Like after like maybe 2 deals, like what was a good, because people are like, when do I know that I'm like good? And like, I can rely on this as my income type of thing.
I'll never forget, because remember we had got I got that fourplex. I sold that fourplex. I ended up getting both sides. That was my first deal. So my first deal was a fourplex. I ended up getting both sides, and I sold it for like maybe $215. So that was equivalent to like a $430,000 deal. So I got off that check after, you know, of course, paying my percentage to my brokerage and things like that. I got a large check. So I was like, finally, some breathing room, right? Like finally. And then from there, I started getting more deals, because all I was doing was just hitting the phones. That's why my business is based off of hitting the phones, right? That's why I'm so keen on that, because that's literally what sparked my business. And then
that's when you knew
we started meeting investors through the cold calling, because I was calling for sale by owners, and that's how I was meeting the investors. And so it happened that time when we was out, I was listing a property for one of those clients, and Catherine walked up to me and said, "Hey, who own this house right here?" It's like, I don't know, babe. She was like, it's like, babe, I feel it in my spirit, like this is going to be our house. And I'm telling you, at least seconds after she said that, a lady came from outside and was like, "Hey, you want to buy this house?" Catherine was like, Yeah, we want to buy
buy
it. Right. So she literally invited Catherine in and everything into our house and gave Catherine a number to the owner.
Right.
And even then, it wasn't even real to me because I let like 2 weeks go by. Remember before I even called her, he was like, "Hey, did you ever call the owner of that property?" I was like, "No." I was like, "But I called them today," and I called them, and they was like, "Yeah, we're looking to sell it." Long story short, linked up with the owners, ended up putting the property under contract, and that's when I did my first wholesale deal and made that $30,000
and that's when we knew.
And that's when we
could put the furniture business there.
Yes, that's when we knew it was time to put it down.
We didn't have to
go Catherine's couch carrying days were over after that.
Oh my gosh, they were over.
Over, yes.
I wanted them to be over.
Hey, but that just like, I just love your guys' journey from and being consistent. Like I knew that was going to be, and I think what more people need to hear is the consistency of everything, whether like with whatever you're doing, you'll only get better. I want to get into your success story. You have a ton of them, but do you have a recent one that you wanted to share with us?
Yeah. So, so going from living in a hotel room to carrying couches with my wife, right? To getting our first wholesale deal off the ground to now having a full-blown operation. Again, having a full-blown investment business as well as a traditional business. Not only do we do 6 figures a month, but we're going to talk about today how we've done 6 figures in some deals,
right.
Per deal. And what we're going to talk about, if you don't mind, at least I'm actually willing to even pull up the HUD sheets and walk you through the actual process as to how I structured the deal. If that's something that I don't know if that's something.
I'm gonna object to that in the least bit. So you go right ahead.
Okay. So let me share my screen with you.
Also, congratulations. That's awesome.
Oh no, thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate that. All right. I think at least you have to give me permission to share my screen.
Yeah, let me sure I need to figure out how to do this.
And you have to add me as co-host. This is Zoom.
Yes. There. Try now.
Let me grab it.
And just a fair warning, if we may have to restart this only because I may be a DealMachine person, but I am not on the paid version of Zoom, so it'll cut out after 40 minutes. So we may have to like come back if that's okay and start a new one. It'll be the same room, but
that's totally fine. Yeah, that's okay. Fine.
I don't want to miss this.
Push it back to make sure that we had enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. This is gold. Yeah.
Okay, so let me walk you through this deal.
And this is a deal that we actually got from the DealMachine as well.
This is a deal we got from Driving for Dollars. Right. So we we basically put we made contact with the owner, right? Mind you, this deal we had to follow up with this client for maybe over a year, literally over a year, right? So, and matter of fact, to show you that I'm telling the truth, I want to show you something. I'm going to show you my Podio. And mind you, I'm on Catherine's computer, so bear with me.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who has like a ton of windows open at the bottom. They're minimized.
To the HUDs and stuff, because we don't want to.
Oh, no, here it is, right here.
For time's sake. I don't even know.
Yeah. So what I want to do, no, real quick, I just want to show them this real fast. So look, this was over a year ago. See that?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So look all
that follow up.
See that? And I'm showing you this just to say, I say this all the time, and I just I'm showing them this to stretch my point.
Right.
The power is in the follow-ups.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? Like the power is literally in the follow-ups, and people don't understand. Like they just think that, these deals is just going to fall in your lap. No, you have to get creative. You have to get a little bit more resourceful and keep more, extra tools in your back pocket. So all that being said, followed up with this deal for over a year. Mm-hmm. So guy kept telling me, hey, I'm going to get down there to show you the property. I'm like, okay, well, when? He like, next week. Called him back next week. Hey, you're going to meet me today? You told me to call you back. I'm calling you back. Said 12 o'clock next week. I'm calling you back. oh, Rob, you know what? I'm caught up. Let's try again next week. And now I just got tired of it. I said, you know what? I got him this far to where he's at least wanting to let me into the property, right? I said, look, I asked a magical question. You ready for it? I asked a magical question, the $100,000 6-figure plus question. I said, look,
Bring down this
I
timestamp
know what
right
it is.
I said, would you happen to have a lockbox on the property?
Right.
He said, yes. I said, okay, you've been talking to me for a while now. Would you mind if I just go down there and show myself the property? I said, sure.
Oh,
I said, I don't quite remember the lockbox code, but I'm gonna send you a few, try them all. At least I got down there, I ran down there. I know the neighborhood. I've sold a lot of properties in this neighborhood, so I knew the neighborhood. Gets in the property, the minute I get into the property, it's a mess. It's a mess. Like it was a disaster. And actually, I'm not even gonna go into that, but it was a mess. So long story short, I was like, hey, I called him up. I said, hey, I'm interested in the property. Are there any other decision makers that basically would need to be present at the time of me presenting my offer? He said, yes, my wife. I said, okay, great. What time do your wife get home? He said around 6 o'clock. And I said, okay, great. It'd be okay if I give you a call around 6:30. He said, yeah. I said, okay. All right, I'm gonna give you a call around 6:30. I call him exactly around like 6:28 because I'm excited about this deal. So I call him up. His wife is there. His wife, she gets on the phone and she's like, you can tell she's like the head honcho, right? She's like from the gate, like, okay, what you want? So talking with the wife, explaining to her, I've been talking on and off with her husband for over, year now.
And so have other people. They told us other investors. They've been calling them too, or basically all the time.
Mm-hmm. And that's the key. That was
Right.
one of the key factors because I was only willing to pay, I think to basically buy the deal outright to where I would have been able to wholesale the deal. I was only willing to pay, I think, a certain price around like 90, 95 or something like that. She didn't want 90, 95. She wanted 125, right?
oh.
So I said, okay, you want 125. No problem. Would you be willing to, if I was able to give you 125, would you, can we come up with some type of creative financing or some type, terms to where we can make it fair for the both of us? She said, yeah, break that down to me. What would that look like? And I gave her options, right? So I gave her options. I said, if I buy the property right out, I can only go up to 90. But if we do a subject to or an assumption, which gave her all these options, right? I'm not going to make it too complex. And she chose the subject to route. Now, I found out later that I can actually, with this, I was like, I started digging a little bit more, like who's the lender? Come to find out it was done through a private lender. So through private lending, just so you know, the difference between an assumption and a subject to is that an assumption is basically when the bank will allow you to assume the mortgage. Mm-hmm. I'm the new borrower on the loan. Mm-hmm. A subject to, the mortgage would have still been in her name, but she was fine with that until I found that there was a private lender who actually lent her the money that would allow me to do an assumption. So I said, okay, look, I'll give you the 125. We are doing an assumption. After giving her, after agreeing, went under contract. This is where this coming at. So I assumed $80,000 of her debt. See this right here? 1, 2, 3. I assumed $80,000 of her debt, right? These are the loans that I basically borrowed from private lenders. So I have private lenders that fund my projects that give me money to remodel these properties, right?
Yep.
Mind you, if you notice on line 208, it say loan from seller. So the agreement we came to is that I didn't have to basically give her the money up front. I can give her the money after I close the property.
Oh.
Follow me? So I give you 125, right? But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to assume you're $80,000 in debt, right? And I'm going to give you some money up. She wanted some money up front. So let's just say, let's keep it flat numbers. She wanted 125. I say, look, I'm going to assume the $80,000 in debt, what you see right here. I'm going to give you the other 20. Well, that's where this come in at 21. Cover her payment up front of what she wanted to put in her pocket and my closing costs, right? And then the remainder didn't have to be paid until the house was closed. So she became a lender on her own deal. No interest. right? Interest free. She just said, look, pay me after the property. So basically it's called taking back the note. She took back the note on the property. So, okay, went in, mind you, I got cut a check for this. I got cut a check for $36,809. So I did this, make note, I did this without having to spend not a penny of my own money. Between the money I raised from my lenders and the money that I was able to keep from her taking back the note, I was able to basically walk away from the table with $36,000. But that $36,000 was going to be towards my rehab costs.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, none of my
I
own
love
money.
it.
Go ahead.
No, just thank you for showing this because I love the breakdown of everything. This is
So what they do is they include the way this lender, every closing attorney does their HUDs different. This closing attorney basically included everything in it. So basically brought me to 162 in debt. But we know that I took $36,000 of that and pocket that money to be able to put towards the rehab. So speed it up. We went ahead. I have a contracting team that I have in place that does all my flips. That's why I say we do a lot of flips. So if people are looking to, we're not just wholesalers. If people have great deals in Georgia or Pennsylvania, that's why I say I want to link up with them because we're always looking for deals to buy. So we went in, fixed the property up. A couple months later, here is, let's see if I can pull this up. So we fixed it up. And after fixing it up, we put it on the market for $350,000. Now, mind you, I was all in on this property. $80,000 note that I took back, right? The $80,000 note that I took back, and I didn't have to pay none of my loans back until the property sold. So now let's fast forward. Now let's break it down. I ended up going under contract immediately for $350. So that's what kind of delayed this because the person who had us under contract for $350 ended up walking away.
Okay.
So for sure, I had a cash buyer that come along and purchase the property. You ready for this?
No, I don't think so.
Guess how much we ended up. So I got the property for 125. That screen freeze. You still there, Elise?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So mind you, we got the property. We're all in debt, right? $125,000. Right? Then I ended up borrowing some loans here. And if you look over here, you will see my loans. The 24 that I paid to cover her costs, what she wanted up front, and my closing costs.
Okay.
Is my screen freezing on your side?
You're back. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my loan that I borrowed from one of my private lenders to basically cover her debt and the closing debt. And then I borrowed a total of another $49,000, 200 plus another $6,000 in loans to fix the property up.
Okay.
All borrowed.
So this is all borrowed money.
Okay.
This is all borrowed money from the private lenders. But mind you, remember that 19,002 that the seller agreed to take back, and I wouldn't have to pay her until the property was sold?
Yes.
That's this right here.
Okay.
$19,257, right? Then the mortgage, the payoff of a fifth mortgage. Oh, I borrowed some more money. This is all borrowed money, right? Long story short, you ready for this? If you scroll down and you look right here at this end column, after all my debt was paid, mind you, zero out of my pocket, Catherine and I made $123,605.77.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You dig what I'm saying? So and we say that to say, like, and people know, man, we're very, very humble folks. And I'm showing this to you guys because you guys are family. And I know that the people who have followed us after our original show, they're like family, right? You guys got the best audience ever.
Oh, we do. I love it.
I'm telling you to say this, like, life is literally a product of the way you think, right? And if you can change your thinking, you can literally change your life. You following what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we're literally and guess what? In the middle of this deal, I had another investor called me because you know, on social media, you know, I'm posting, I'm in front of the house and I'm talking about the house and how we're about to flip it. A guy, no, he inboxed me on Facebook and he was like, hey man, is that property, you know, on Cascade? And I was like,
he knew.
Like, how do you know where this property is located?
Right.
Right. And I hesitated to reply back because
this
at
was
the time,
during the rehab.
I'm like, what? Well, I mean, maybe he knows something I don't know. Like, is this thing on a floodplain? He about to tell me something along those lines? Like, what is he about to tell me? Right. He said, I replied, I said, yeah. I said, yeah, it is on Cascade. How you know? He said, because I was talking to the seller last year this time. I was trying to buy it. I said, oh, word? I said, oh, why didn't you purchase the property? He said, because she wanted too much. See what I'm saying? She wanted too much. So if I was purchasing a property at that time outright, like I told you, that's why I said you got to have more tools in your tool belt. In this industry, if you're only coming to the table with just a one-step strategy, and that one-step strategy, exit strategy, is the wholesale, then you're going to be limited to what you can do in this industry. That's why I say life is a product of the way you think it. If you change your thinking, you can change your mind. Education, they've been telling us our whole life, right? Like, education is power, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more money you can make, the more successful you can become. So I say all that to say, man, we never, you go to any of our videos, we never did anything like this, but I wanted to share this with you and your audience to be able to give the breakdown as to, and I can stop sharing now. I wanted to really give you the breakdown because I wanted to really give people the meat, because all we see, a lot of people not going to share stuff like that with you. You know, how you have different options, you know, subject twos, assumptions, novations. People not really talking that. Matter of fact, it confuse the average person that's just trying to, like, look, man, I'm just trying to get my first wholesale deal. What is the heck is a subject to? What is a novation? What is a assumption, right? So what I just now explained to you was a deal that we did as an assumption, and we made 6 figures just off that one deal and didn't have to come out of pocket $1.
That's right.
$1.
I am just like blown away. And also I wish that we had met like 2 years ago, because I had a property where I was just like, oh, she wants too much. And I walked away from it. And I probably could have done something else with it.
Next time you come across that type of deal, call me.
Send us that's another thing. You know, just the community, the DealMachine community, people that have dead leads and stuff like that. Like, you know, hit us up, inbox us, because we have resources and we have different strategies to get deals closed for everybody to make money.
So I want to ask you about the Atlanta market. I have been hearing nonstop from people, Atlanta market is too, like, people want too much. There's not enough deals. It's hard to get a deal. Like, I mean, they can't find any. And I know that those are a lot of excuses. I just feel like I'm hearing about them more specifically in the Atlanta market. So what would you say to people? Like, so I have people that are doing like mail marketing. They are cold calling. Like, how often should they follow up? Like, what is the, like, I know you said the key was kind of like having all those exit strategies to like give them options, but like, what would you say to people who are kind of like feeling just, I don't know, discouraged?
Yeah, no.
That's why it's important to have like mentorship. It really is important to have somebody to talk to about your process and procedures, because it's easy to say like the Atlanta market is oversaturated, and it really is. Like, everybody, a wholesaler or investor is born every day in Atlanta, it seems like, and it's true. There are lots of competition, and so that's why it's important to have someone to talk to kind of help you get over this hurdle. Because, you know, if you go to, let's just say, to Rob, or you talk with myself, we can just look into what you're doing and identify why you're not closing deals. You know, it could be how your script. It could be you don't have enough exit strategies. You know, it could be you're not making enough contacts. It could be you're not staying consistent enough with your driving. So it's easy for someone to say, oh, the market is oversaturated, we can't get deals. But if you say that to someone like us, if you say that to us, we're going to come back to you and we're going to say,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that because we're
yeah.
closing deals and we're definitely acquiring new leads all the time, right? So that's my answer to that question.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know.
Yeah. My response to that would be extend your reach. Extend your reach. And what I mean by that is that I said it on the last time we linked up on the last webinar. You would watch somebody like us, right? And we'd be in the same market. But instead of reaching out, right, you would just basically take a bunch of notes. You probably took a couple screenshots of what stuff we just put up, right? But it never reach out and just say, hey, man, because I'm going to attract my own tribe, right? People going to be connected to me that can relate to me. People going to be connected to Catherine. Me and Catherine not trying to be the next nobody, right? We should only be Rob and Catherine. So we're going to attach. You probably watching this right now, like, I can relate to them. I like them. Let's link up, right? And what you may not know, I know, right? What I may not know, you know. That's extending our reach. That's what makes us a tree, right? Because it's different branches on a tree, right? If you only cut off all the branches, you just got a stump. You just got a long tree, right? With no branches. A long tree start with no branches. But if you start extending your reach and you got all these different branches, man, y'all, the impact we can make by coming together and linking up and utilizing your resources. Listen, you're unstoppable.
Endless growth there.
Endless. It's endless. The opportunities is endless.
I catch more fish together than people, you can by yourself.
Because people keep asking us, hey man, coaching. They keep asking about these coaching programs, and I'm like, listen, I don't have a coaching program. And honestly, truth to the matter is, I don't plan on having a coaching program no time soon.
Absolutely.
But guess what? Guess how the way you could come and you can get some of what I have up here. Guess how we can make money together.
Send me your deals. Send the deals over.
And you can learn.
And you learn right.
By just doing the deal directly with us.
That's right.
That's what I love. I think that people who start off should, especially if they're having a lot of analysis paralysis, JVing is like the best thing because you learn from the people that. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't know, you don't be greedy with it, I guess. Like a lot of people are like, no, I'll just do it and I'll, or lose off. If I would have JV'd with the deal that I'm sorry, the handful of leads that I've gotten calls back from that I was like, oh, it's dead. Like I can't do anything with it. If I would have past self when I was hitting it hardcore, could have done that, like I would have been able to close those deals. But because I was like, no, I have to figure it out for myself. I don't want to ask for help. I know that there are people that probably are like that.
And I always say this, that's one of my sayings, low money better than no money, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather get something out the deal than rather than not get anything and just have that deal just sitting there collecting dust. Robert Kiyosaki said it the best. He's like, when in this business, we've been taught like, you want it done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
He said his rich dad taught him, no, that's not the way. That's not the way. You actually don't want to get it done yourself. Right. Actually, you want to find out how to have everybody else do it. You actually want to become, in a sense, lazy. You see what I'm saying? Be incompetent is what he said. You see what I'm saying? He's like, you don't want to be the person to try to do it all yourself. Find out how you can basically build a team around you that can help you move as a force.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's how you all win together. That's how you continue to thrive. People just want to basically, they don't think like that. You know what I mean?
And then eventually they come back to you, Elise, and they say that the Atlanta market is oversaturated and they're not getting any leads. And eventually they give up and they go back to whatever, that they're doing before for income and things like that, when there's no need for that. There's no need for that.
I love that because we actually just I posted a reel today where Rochelle is starring in it.
Oh, what?
She put like, we're doing a series of like why real estate investors don't get deals, and today's was because they think it's a get rich quick, and it's instead about the grind and hustle and commitment.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge thing. I feel like everyone I talk to, it's like you have to wait a minimum of 3 months to see any traction going. And kind of like what you were saying, Rob, like you were calling, you were calling, you were calling, you were calling after that first deal, because you were so consistent, like they just kind of started coming at you because you had just been doing all this work, and it was like a snowball effect.
Yes, it was.
And you can't wait. And guess what? You can't wait till the snowball effect come in place. And now you in the rhythm. Now the deals are flowing, right? Everything is coming about as planned, but that's the time you have to even grind even harder. You see what I mean? You look at that $123,000, but if you look at my work ethic, you would think that I'm still striving to get my first plate.
Right.
You see what I mean? You would think that I was still living in a hotel room if you seen my work ethic. So you can't have, I don't care if it's 5, 10, 6, 15 deals in a pipeline. Go just as hard as you would have been going before you got the $100,000, before you got the 3 deals for that month. You gotta stay consistent. Consistency is the key. And people are not staying consistent, and then they want to come back. Truthfully, they want to come back and they want to blame the system. They want to blame the machine. They want to blame the app. You know what I mean? They want to blame the market. Nah, it's an excuse.
Absolutely.
It's an excuse. The ball is in your court. You have to become resourceful.
Yeah.
I'm just like blown away by this, you guys. Like this goes to the most deserving people. Like you guys are so amazing. And I'm just so thankful that you guys are here. And I don't want to take up too much time, and holy crap, it's already 1:30.
Elise, thank you so much for bringing us on today. We hope that we added a ton of value to you.
A ton. I've never had someone break it down like that before, and I know people love to see that.
Wow. Yeah. We're honored, humbly,
Absolutely.
and literally so grateful for all that you guys have done.
Yes.
And all that you do. Like I said, that deal would never been possible if you all wouldn't have created that app. So all them people that's saying that that talk all that, oh, well, I'm not getting no deals from this, and I'm not. We're literally a walking, living testimony. We're not just saying it because we're on the phone with you as DealMachine. Right. We're saying that, and we're so grateful. But we say that in this interview and the last interview because we've utilized that app, and that app have literally sparked our business.
It helps us tremendously.
It does.
That makes me so happy. And I'm just glad that we have each other, like that we can connect, and like, well, when we travel, I can come and see you guys and be like,
yes, definitely. Next time we gotta connect. We have to connect. We do, man. We really feel as though you guys are extended family. Like you guys have really been, good to us, and
blessing.
Really, man.
We straight back at you guys, all of it. But thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Tell your kids we said hi.
You sure will. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay.
Elise.
All right. Bye, guys.